And we are live tonight with Boreal and David from KnownOrigin. Welcome, everybody. How are you?
Really good, really good.
How are you doing, Serena? How are you doing, David?
All good. Thanks for joining us.
Awesome.
I'm so excited about this talk. I can't wait to be talking about your art, which is super fascinating. But before we do that, I, as usual, pass on the word to David, who's going to give us a quick intro about KnownOrigin. So, David,
Hi.
stage is yours.
We do this every week, but just for consistency, I'm David Moore. I'm one of the co-founders of Origin, which is a digital platform built on Ethereum blockchain. And we seek out emerging digital artists and then bring them over to the NFT scene and we showcase and sell their work. We've also recently partnered with Costa Rica, which are Costa Rican-based talent scouts, essentially, and they find awesome artists and they introduce us to them. We jump on a call, we get to know them, and that's how we met Boreal, aka Sebastian. I was blown away by the work that he showed me on the call. I love his vibe, such a cool guy. His inspirations are pop art icons, but I'll let Serena and Sebastian get into that a bit more. Please follow KnownOrigin_.io, leave comments and questions on there. I'll relay them back to Serena and Sebastian, and we can try and answer as many questions as we can. That's enough from me, so let's enjoy the show and another behind the scenes. So I'm really excited by this one. I'm going to shoot now, Sebastian. I will be on the live chat.
Nice to see you, David. Thank you. That's a good intro.
See you soon.
Thank you, David. See you soon. Okay, so we're here.
He's mastering his intros, right?
Yes, he gets it so right now. Yes. Wonderful. So yes, oh gosh, I'm so happy to be talking to you. I just want to tell everyone, we had a quick intro to one another last night over a call. And Boreal was telling me about his technique, his art, and how he combines iconic pop art, but also more surrealistic elements and logos. So we're going to be discussing that tonight with you. But as David said, if you do have any questions as we go through this live, please just drop a message. We're here to chat. Yes, right below here, so we can have a live interaction. So can I call you Boreal or Sebastian? What do you prefer? Let's start with that.
Well, my name is Sebastian, but everybody calls me Boreal. I don't know.
Is that your surname or your maiden name?
From high school, because of my last name, Arburola. Arburola. I don't know how to say it in English, but they just call me Boreal, and I thought that was a pretty cool nickname.
It is cool.
So I keep it.
It is cool. It is cool. You know, people started to call me Tab because my surname is Tobacco in Italian. So
yeah. How do you?
Which I don't mind.
How do you pronounce your last name? Tabacchi.
Tabacchi in Italian, but otherwise it means tobacco. So Tab.
Okay.
So Boreal, yes, it's a cool name. I love it. So if you don't mind, I'll be calling you Boreal during this live.
That's fine. That's fine.
Great. So I guess people will have questions for you tonight, but I do have quite a few. So I'm gonna start now. So I would love to ask you, since I've been looking at your art and I see that, you know, as we said, you combine different elements. How does the creative process begin? And how do you get to combine these different elements? How did you get started on finding your own path?
All right. Well, I always liked to draw, and I draw a lot for fun. Is this past 3 years that I've been dedicated as a serious thing and take serious the draws that I did. So for the technique, I keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
I choose three themes, right? One is pop art, or make the piece artsy in that way. That is a theme. So all the elements that I choose have to be part of the artsy movement, the pop art. And the other element that I want to put in my work is a celebrity or something that is actual, from this moment. Um, al- Almost all the time is a celebrity, you know. Um, the third theme is make a composition of those three elements, put it together, and see
Mm-hmm.
if it works. Sometimes it's in paper, sometimes it's in Photoshop. I just put the three things together and start playing. Um, and then I start writing, drawing. I start to draw in paper. So I start drawing with the reference of the collage that I did, right? And I use ink, I use pencil colors, and I use everything that I have. So I put it all together, the colors and the mix of techniques. And I mean, for example, 80% of the work is manual. All right. So when I think it's finished, the manual part, I scan the work in high definition and
Mm-hmm.
start working in the computer. Most of
And
the
what is that you add once you put the work in digital?
For example, okay, I have an example right here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have. This is the draw that I did. This is the part of the drawing.
Yes, yes. And then there's a whole
And
picture that you built at the back, right? So
yes,
this is part
yeah.
of a bigger
So
art
so
creation.
yeah. So this is the first part. This is the first part of the first part is always drawing and ink and pencil colors and tint
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and tempera.
What I
So
like is that there's always like a distortion
oh yeah, that's the third thing, distortion. Yeah.
of the reality. So it's kind of like you mix, and I'm going to ask you some more questions about that. You mix pop culture with an element of contemporary, um, the whatever is contemporary to you. So whatever is actual, what is a VIP or a personality that fascinates you. And then you use logos as well. But
Yes.
all three elements are in a way distorted, you know,
Yeah.
they
Just
blend together.
exactly.
So
You say it very well.
I'm trying to understand what captures you and what draws your attention into picking elements from like logos, pop art, and present times. So why did you choose these three areas and you decided to combine them?
Well, it was a journey. It was a journey of discovering. Um, and in the beginning, what I tried to put a lot of stuff in my draws, in my pieces, but
Mhm.
then I start quitting elements, and I decided that three was the best proportion of things, because when you see those pieces, you digest that very quickly. One, two, three. For
Mhm.
example, the old Coca-Cola logo, one celebrity, and Andy Warhol. Three things together, and then I put the distortion on the three things. So this
Mhm.
is a formula. This is a
I'm just
formula.
gonna share it on my screen so that people
Okay.
can see.
Cool.
So this is the Andy World piece that
All
you were
right. For
talking about,
example,
right?
yeah. For example, that piece, I put Andy Warhol, but Andy Warhol as a celebrity and as part of the pop art movement, right? So there's two in one. It's a celebrity, and then I put the logo, the New Yorker logo, and the distortion. Number three, the distortion. Everything together gives the feeling of something familiar. That's what I look for.
Yes, yes, and for example, in these work, there's these element of like dripping and falling apart, and sort of like as wax sort of dripping and melting. So I'm curious to know what it feels to you looking at this work once it's been completed. What kind of feeling and what kind of message did you want to convey, if any, or maybe I should say what emotion triggered you to create this work?
Yeah, if it freaks me out, it's okay. But mostly, I want to give the impression of something overseen, or something that you saw a lot, and this is a part of the reality that you have in your mind of things, of logos and publicity and celebrities, but all these things are melting in your brain, like mixing and melting, and this is a combination of feelings that that all the media that we have used to all the time, that we see all the time, is mixing together and kind of melted in my brain, in the spectator brain, So I try to make them all these funny things that we see every day have a little creepy side. So I try to put it. I don't know. It's a mixing of things, of feelings, but I try to give that impression.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for talking us through this work. I want to be showing some more work in a moment. But yes, that's very interesting. And then we were talking about a painting, an artwork that you had in your room that I saw last night, and today's gone.
Yeah, today's gone. I have the
You
thing
surprised me a little.
the thing that I want to see is show the artwork and show how I done it first. So
Yes.
I have first here the draw and then the picture. But someone said to me, "I'm going for the picture right now," and I said, "Can I keep it just for a day?" So I let it happen. Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good. Yes, I would love for you to tell me more about the painting that you have there in your room. If you can tell me about how you created it.
Okay, that was
The one right back.
Okay, this. Okay, this is
Yes.
the same technique. The three teams. uh, I didn't say it live, right? This is
No, because we talked about it earlier with David, and I would love for you to tell us the story because I think it's quite fascinating.
Okay, this is Deborah Harry from Blondie, right? But this is Deborah Harry for Blondie from a picture that Andy Warhol did. It's a picture of Andy Warhol. So this is again the celebrity and the pop art together. And this is this is Franklin Chan Diaz. Franklin Chan Diaz is a scientist from Costa Rica. Actually, it was the first astronaut, the first Costa Rican in space, the first and the only one, I think, for now. I think there's another astronaut from Costa Rica right now, but that was the first astronaut in space from Costa Rica. So
wow.
So this is a piece that all Costa Ricans can understand, right? Because he's very famous. And in the background, I kind of use some Basquiat technique, very yellow, and some sketches from zero, from all the things that I have in my mind right now. And I just put it together. And then with the painting and the paint drips. I like the dripping style because it's some kind of distortion too. And Franklin Chan, of course, maybe you didn't see it over there, but it has tattoos.
Oh yes. Wow.
And
Careful. I can see you handling the painting with ease, but
have tattoos in his face.
yes, yes, yes.
Yes. So this is again a picture that I did in paper first,
Mhm,
and then put it in the computer and start playing with it. It always is have to be fun for me. I have to be feeling like in a playground. So
mhm,
that's a part of it. I have to have fun with every piece that I did that I do.
mhm. That's a
Yeah.
good way of releasing energy into work,
Yeah.
I
And that's
suppose.
very funny because for me, art is a therapy.
Mm,
Art is a
yeah,
therapy. Yeah.
I guess
And
it works that way for many. Yeah.
yes, every time that I feel sad or something like that, I just start drawing and everything flows. I feel better immediately. Well, not immediately because there's some kind of struggling in drawing. And
Yeah.
you're drawing and you say, this is bad, this is bad. But then when it start to flowing and everything's good, it's putting together, just start to have fun. And I don't know,
Mm,
maybe you release endorphins.
mm.
I didn't,
It
I didn't,
probably does.
I probably because I do feel better every time.
We'll have to ask an art therapy and see what they say. But yes, I'm sure it's good. It's good for
Yeah,
the mind and for the soul.
there's art therapy for sure, but I have to know a little bit more about it. I use
Hmm.
it myself.
Yeah, that's a good way of releasing stress or anxiety. I in terms of pop art, we were talking about what Andy Warhol last night, and the iconicity of the people that he used to portrait in pictures. And I wanted to know from you, how do you see this post pop, which you call it as neo pop, surrealism, and what tells you, what communicates to you, and what's the urgency of bringing pop into today's culture, into today's art.
Yeah, that's funny. That's a thing that I didn't like realize, like put it in paper. What I think about that, but I think is that I grew up with all these art on all these posters and all this pop art. I was born with it, and I was as a little kid I was fascinated by it. My dad was an artist from Costa Rica. He passed away,
Mm,
but he was a very well-known artist here in Costa Rica, and so I'm listening the pop concepts and the new art concept for a very long time, and and grew it. And right now, maybe I want to keep with that legacy. It's something
mm-hmm,
very familiar for me, and I don't want to uh, end with that. I don't know. I don't want to. That part of my life is finished. But I'm gonna tell you, this is for this series. This is for the
yeah.
logolism series. I don't know what's going to move me in the future.
Yes, yes. So we were also saying, you were telling me that these specific series that you've come up with has also been an inspiration you had and something you've developed during the lockdown time, during this quarantine. And so you also refer to it as logolism. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. It's logolism. It's something that I came out and for some reason start the same day that the pandemic start.
Hmm.
So I want to finish it the day that they say they have the cure or something. So maybe it takes 3 months more or 6 months more. I don't know. But
you know,
yeah.
in a way, I want to say soon, but I would love to see your art keep coming to life. So
Yeah. Yeah. So the logolism is a collection, as you said before. This is a collection for art enthusiasts, because it has all this mix of art melted with new stuff and logotypes. So I use logotypes because they are familiar to the people and love it by
but
the
it's
people, you know.
but is there anything about the brands that you use that you want to convey, or is that just a way of, you know, is it for composition?
It's for
And so more like an aesthetic reason, or is there any other layer to the message that you'd like to bring in your work?
for example, in the picture of Andrew Warhol, Andrew Warhol was all the time in New York, right? So he was a New Yorker. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a gimmick there, but it starts with composition matter. Yeah. So it's from composition, but if I find something funny or something cool, I use it.
Yeah, there's another painting I would love to share. Sorry, it's gone. Let me find it. There's a painting I wanted to share, which is the one with basket. I guess we can go to your KnownOrigin page.
Yeah,
Here we
I
go.
can go
Let's
there.
go there. Can you
Yeah.
see my screen now? Yes.
Yes, I can see it.
Good. So I wanted to spend some words on these piece. Because yes, I see the McDonald logo upside down and basket on the back, and I'm loving it. So how did you come up with this?
Well, first I didn't use it the McDonald's logo since this painting. So I wanted to use the McDonald's logo, right? And you know, I love Basquiat. I love Jean Michael, and I just put it together with the same formula. I love Basquiat. I want to put the McDonald logo as a way of, you know, as fast art instead of fast food, you know, like yeah, like pop art. Pop culture is very ephemeral. It's very for the moment, and you use it and throw it, and
Yeah, it's to be consumed fast.
it's from consumers. It's from consumers, and the Mac logo is very in the back on our heads and tell another another, you know, another how to say it, another significado, right? So
Meaning, yeah.
yeah. So put all this together, it means like nothing is forever. No art is forever, and everything is melting in your brain, and everything is disposable. So this is a mix of what I feel about society too. You know, I didn't take very serious about the meaning of my art. I just wanted to be funny and maybe disposable in a certain way. You know,
It's
smell.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think now more than ever, we live in a time where we used to live day by day and making less plans that we used to, also given, you know, the situation. So I guess art has become something that we enjoy for one day, and then we look at it the next day, but maybe we see something different. So the way we consume what we see, it's become part of our day life. And I see that even more relevant now with the pandemic, because every day it's kind of like there's a degree of uncertainty that we've learned
Yes.
to live with. And so in a way, I see a reference with your art, with this sort of dripping, and it is weird to see in a way, because it makes you shiver in a bit, but at the same time it is reassuring because you see the brand. So to me it feels like the assurance of the brand, because it's something that you know very well and you trust, in a way. Everyone's been to McDonald or has got Nike, or has watched a Michael Jackson video, or loves the music, or Andy Warhol's art. So it's something you recognize and you love. But at the same time, this element of distortion that makes you feel very uncomfortable when you look at the works. Like this one, for example, that's seen on Netflix.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that you are on the point.
It's interesting.
Everything is, as I said, everything is a copy of a copy of a copy, and we have pieces together, and we have the pandemic, and everything is falling apart. So it gave me the creeps. So I started to put that in the pieces.
So let's jump back. Let's jump back in time, and let me come back to the screen here. Here we go. Here we are. And I wanted to ask you. So David put in the comment a really nice question, asking if you see your father's work in your approach. And I wanted to sort of jump back in time and ask you about what you used to do prior to this series, and also your day job as well, which I know is quite relevant to what you do as well. So what was your journey as an artist? And do you see your father's work and legacy into your work?
Yeah. Well, that's fine. My dad has a series for shorter time that use logos, but he forget about that. And I just always thought that it was pretty cool to put logos in art. So I continued his I don't know, his legacy. I'm going to find a works of my dad. We have logos and show it to you to see. But yeah, of course, my dad was a big influence for me in my artwork, and I have to say this because my father was my mentor and literally my teacher, because I studied arts back in the days, and my father was my teacher, my draw teacher. So it was it was very, very funny for me.
Was he your teacher at school?
Not in school, in university.
In university,
yeah.
Wow.
In draw, in the class of drawing, he was literally my teacher.
Wow. And how did that feel? How was it having your dad in class?
And he said to me in the night, please don't do those amazing pictures, because I don't want to take you as an example. My son, right? So it was very funny. So it was very demanding to make things that I like, and put all the academics in the draws, and also I wanted to my dad liked my pictures. So having my dad as an actual teacher was pretty cool. Yeah. So, and then looking backward, I started as all my life I was a publicist, and all my life I work as a creative director.
Yeah, you were telling me.
Yes.
And I think, looking at your work, you can tell that there's a good degree of knowledge in that, in the way you compose the work, I would say.
Yeah, and talking about that, we used to have unconscious of what the people think in the advertising. You need to make an advertising appealing, for the people, for the buyers to buy the product. So I use concepts of advertising in my work, to more appealing to the people.
And what do you think are the elements of making a work stand out? What do you think are the elements? Which do you think are the elements of making a work to stand out, to be seen and appreciated?
One of the big things is faces. The faces attracts the eye, Faces attracts the eye. The logos attracts the eye. The colors, the bright colors attracts the eye. And put it all together and make a distortion of it. It just makes sense for me, But the concept is also very important. And because I was a creative director, I always want to put a concept behind, so the people can enjoy your gimmick, your art, your three things together, Yes. So I was working as a creative director for big brands like Coca-Cola in Ogilville and in Erickson and in BBDO.
And did you think that influenced your way of creating art in a way?
Yes, of course, and I'm very aware of that, and I use it, and I'm playing with it, and I'm playing with my past, for so to speak, because I use it in my work. I always
sorry.
I always use the register, the R. I don't know if I have it here. Yeah.
Yes.
The R. I always use that as an element that I do all the time. And I put it backwards all the time. And when I use logos, I make sure that it's not the new version of the logo, because of the copyright matters. So I try to use the obsolete version of the logo, the one that the CEOs don't want to see in their advertising. For example, the early 2000 Pepsi logo, they don't want to see it no more in his ads. So I use it.
I want to show that one because I think it's beautiful. It's a great work. So I'm just gonna pull it on screen and share everybody. This one, you mean?
Yeah, this is the old Pepsi logo. So I try to use obsolete logos,
which in a way I think it fits so well the work that you're creating, because it is very contemporary, but at the same time it's got sort of like a nostalgic
and familiar,
feeling. Yes, so it feels from like back in the days, like those brands in the 80s where it was all about the colors and the brands and drinking fizzy drinks and
yes, and those feelings are like getting forgotten, or in certain way, and it feels like a nostalgic thing that is gone. So I bring it back in a twisted and distorted way. So I try to do that,
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think you do it really well. And it's great to see how, those elements have an impact on the viewer and make you feel, I can remember by looking at that work, I can remember the first time I tasted Pepsi. And I was like, this is not Coke. This is not cola. And you definitely remember those kind of like feelings.
Yes, and advertising, and those old advertising, I'm crazy for it. The old advertising from Coca-Cola or advertising from McDonald's, you know, we have all these feelings in the back of our head, and and I like to bring them back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's a question coming from Phil Smith, which I'm just sharing on screen here. He joined now, so hello Phil, welcome. So not sure if covered, but I wanted to hear about the relationship with Block Eureka. Do you have any experience to compare them with traditional galleries versus crypto art platforms? So slightly more technical and practical question, if you like to answer that, Borel.
All right, that's funny because I just have a couple of plays, a couple of exhibition in the real world. I didn't want to became part of the galleries, like normal galleries and stuff. I prefer to sell my art in Instagram, you know, and it sells more. I don't know, maybe because of the public. But I made 2 or 3 exhibitions. One was in the National Institute of Mexico here in Costa Rica, and it was called Memento Mori,
Mm-hmm.
and it was sort of picturing my friends as they took a picture when they died. I'm going to show you later.
Mm.
But it's like the picture that in the old times that they took about the people that was dying, the people. So I told my friends to take this photograph in life. So it was very conceptual and very very fun. But that was photography. Um, and well, I have another exhibition in the MACT, the Museum of Design in Costa Rica, but that was a lot of people. It's not an individual exhibition, so I was there, and I have 2 or 3 more as not individual exhibitions, and I start working. Well, the thing is this. I I was contacted by Chris from Block Eureka.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he explained me the potential in digital art because I was doing digital art and manual art, and he explained to me that there is a niche and there is he explained me the potential, right, and how it was implemented through smart contracts. It was fascinating me. It's very interesting, smart contracts, and he showed me his vision of showcase Latin American artists in his gallery. And then he introduced me to David. And David told me all the things about KnownOrigin. And I think that was fascinated. I'm fascinated by it.
Mm-hmm.
And all the blockchain technology. I know about blockchain technology because of my work, because I was in my agency is a very techy agency. So they have a talk about blockchain, but there was talking about the technology use it in, for example, in the elections,
Mm-hmm.
how blockchain works in the elections and to secure the voters, you know. And he told me about apply that technology to art, and I was like blow my mind because
Mm.
blockchain technology is a technology that allows you to understand and know how and where is your work, and that is a big hole that we artists, digital artists, have in the industry, because you give uh, a PDF version of your art and you give it to some friend, and then you start seeing in shirts and hats and cups.
Yes, everywhere.
everywhere. Oh,
That's
my
true. But
art.
then whoever owns that, in a way, could
Yeah,
claim that,
or in stickers or
claim the
whatever.
ownership. Or yeah.
But if you have the blockchain technology, you know exactly where's your art and who has it and who's the owner.
Hmm.
And if the owner decides to sell, the guy, exactly the guy who has your piece, and that's how blockchain works, and I think that is going to fill that hole in the industry, and
Hmm.
it's
And
very good.
and and what would you say, if you could identify elements that attract you from the more traditional art space and the crypto one? Could you name a few? What are the elements that you think attract you the most, apart
Well,
from smart contracts? Talking more about the art scene.
yeah. I like the physical stuff, and I love the manual thing a lot. I like to have the picture in my hand, but you can do that with digital art. You just print it, you know. But the digital artwork, I don't know, is maybe less pretentious, if I can say so. Uh, um, but also I miss the exhibitions, the real exhibitions. But with Block Eureka, they have a gallery in the crypto space,
Hmm.
and that's
True.
good. Yeah,
And I
that,
think we are actually streaming live in Crypto Voxel tonight. Am I right? I think we should.
yeah. I think hello everyone.
Hey. I said before, I was super excited. There's another question coming from Phil. Do you find yourself choosing different works for different audiences, platforms? Interesting. So do you go by the taste of people that follow you, or do you try and somehow please that, or not? Or do you just
that's
leave your
that
work?
that's one of the thoughts that I wanted to say in the Waxnet section, because this logolism series start as me doing whatever I want, but I want to take submissions. That's the next step.
Oh yes. Tell
Yes,
me. Tell me about the future steps, because I was going to ask you. What's coming up next for you, Boreal?
yeah. Coming up next, I'm taking submissions of the people. So I want to see uh, what characters the people wanted to see. Maybe I make an election or something, or people want to vote, or who they wanted to see in my work, and maybe uh, what do they want to see in my work, what artists they like the most, and mix it up. So the next step is taking submissions, and the other next step is putting animations on the artworks, animate the artworks. That's maybe see the melting stuff, like animated, something like that. Maybe it's going to be fun. So I want,
Interesting.
yeah,
Fitting different layers and different depths to the work.
yes. But I'm
Mm.
super cool with No Origin and so far, and I was there for a month right now, just for a month. I started like exactly a month ago with No Origin, and I sell all my pieces, and I'm very grateful of the people.
Yes, I saw. I saw. It was a great success. I'm very pleased. Yeah, that's
Very
great.
grateful, and I'm very thankful for the people who like my artwork and keep it as a collection of as a personal collection. So I'm very grateful, and thank you all.
Well, thank you for creating such marvelous work. It's all to you. I would love for you to, since we're coming to the time, I would love for you to share some thoughts about what your feelings are about the community in this space. And you said that it's only been a month, so it's always great to have new people joining. I don't want to just call it crypto art community, because I think it's a lot broader. And it's a very diverse and vibrant environment. But I would love for you to share some thoughts about what's been your experience like in the last month, which is, compared to most of us that we've been around for like 2-3 years, it feels such a news.
Crazy. It's crazy, and I love it. It's very modern and very crazy. In my wildest dream, I was imagining that. You know what I'm saying? Because it is a very easy way to sell your art, and you don't have to go anywhere, and you just sit in your computer and sell the PDF in a very secure, ultra secure way. And to the artists outside the world, the crypto world, I just give the advice to try it, and this modern thing and a new thing. If you want to, you can take it as an inspiration to do more art, because right now I want to do 2 pieces by week, because it is moving. It is a moving thing. So you make art and somebody's buying, and you maintain your energy and your feeling. You want to do more, and that's a good thing, because in real world you just make a painting and I don't know, wait maybe forever.
That's very true. I think the dynamic of this market is so fast, but fast in a way that also you get to talk to people that appreciate your art, which I think in the more traditional art space often I would say you don't know who your audience is and how to talk to them, so I think it's what I like the most, this real connection with people, even though we're all behind a computer these days.
Yes.
But at least that there's that kind of connection which feels much more human.
Yes, it is. I was seeing the interviews that you did to the couple of girls that make each other, that know each other in the internet, and they was collaborating.
Julian Jack, yes, they were great.
The great artist, and I like it because they don't knew each other personally, right?
No, they don't. They've never met each other in real life, and I think they've met through the live for the first time last week.
That's amazing. That kind of stuff that you can actually meet someone from, for example, from London, who likes your art, and this is amazing because you know where to buy the art, where to put all the energy, and someone is going to feel the same energy in another part of the world, and that's one of the things that I like the most.
Yeah, it definitely brings people closer to one another, and it's so stimulating, from a creative point of view. It really, triggers your imagination, sharing with others. Yes. And for this series, one of my last questions for you, Boreal, is what would we expect to see next? I know you described the upcoming project, but I'm curious to know if within this series of logolism, you have anything coming up soon.
Oh, yes. But I don't want to burn it.
You don't want to release it.
But yeah, you can.
Fair enough.
You can expect the same trilogy of things. The same things, logos, personalities, rappers, and celebrities. and art all mixed together and melting. I'm going to
So
continue to do that for a while. But yeah, I have a list over there of logos that I like and celebrities that I like and pictures that I like, and
and
maybe
then
go
you.
across and surfing with it.
Nice, nice. So I guess we'll have to keep our eyes open and keep checking your page
Yeah,
on Origin.
yes,
And
that's why I say I want to take submissions. So if you like something, I'm going to write it on a list.
yes, I'm actually, you make me start thinking about logos from the past, which
Yes,
you
yes,
know, there's all these video games logos from the 80s and the 90s that I used to love. I'll
yeah,
tell you one, Nintendo. I don't know
me
if you had that.
yes, and Atari.
But yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, and,
Sorry.
I love the logo for Wendy's. That's a good one.
Hmm.
Wendy's, yeah. And sky's the limit. There's a bunch of food that we discard and we love.
You can add them to your list if you didn't have them down.
Yeah, I'll put it here.
But it's been such a fantastic time we had tonight. Thank you so much. I know it's afternoon there, so I should say
Yeah, there's
afternoon.
almost 2 o'clock.
Yeah, so lunchtime. So, but I wanted to thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today. Your art is amazing. I'm so pleased to be having this conversation with you, and thank you so much for sharing your techniques, your inspirations, and your experience from being within the crypto art world for just over a month. So, congratulations on your great success so far.
Thank you, Serena. Thank you for inviting me to this. This is very important for me. And yeah, thank you a lot. And thank you, David and Blocker for having me in their platforms. And thank you all the
Yes.
people that are watching us in the gallery, in the virtual
Yes,
gallery.
thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining this live chat today, Behind the Screens with Boreal. Find out more on the KnownOrigin page and keep following us on social media. Let me just share your social media, um, Instagram and Twitter. Here we go. All right, keep your eyes open for the next art from Boreal, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you so much for joining us today. Take
Thank
care.
you, Serena. Thank you, everyone. See you there. Bye
See you
bye.
soon.